Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a pretty short election prediction. It's just really a viewer suggestion between Justin Trudeau and Donald Trump. Of course, Trudeau really could never run for president of the United States. He's a citizen of Canada, he was born in Canada. But this is just what I think would happen if this was the actual matchup in the United States. Before I begin, please make sure to go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're 7 away from 450, and we are 57 away from 500 subscribers. So if you've not subscribed, please go ahead and consider doing so. With that, let's get right into our safe Justin Trudeau states. Now, let me mention before this video, actually, Canada is much more of a left-leaning country than the United States. The United States is more right-leaning. When you get into countries like Britain, it's a bit harder to tell because it has more of a lengthy history. The United States is a very young country. Same with Canada. So Britain is in many ways more conservative, but also in other ways much more, I guess what you would say, authoritative on that authoritative scale than a country like the U.S., which is what more people would argue is more free than a country like Britain. So it's hard to relatively tell on that scale, but overall, Canada is a more left-leaning state, and I'd like to also mention they did do a poll asking American citizens if they thought that Justin Trudeau's invocation of the Emergencies Act in Canada was justified, was the right move. 55% of Americans did not support that, and a majority of Democrats did. I believe 60-something percent, however, still a solid minority of Democrats did not support that. So I don't think he would get that same support in the United States. He just doesn't have that ability. He's more left-leaning, and he doesn't even have that support within the Democrat Party, at least with regards to the policy that he implemented in Canada to stop the trucker protests. But anyway, with that information, I'd just like to let you guys know on just what I'm somewhat judging my prediction based off of. Let's get right into the prediction. I still think a state like California would be safe for Justin Trudeau. Washington, Oregon, you could leave to the likely category. We saw that poll out of Washington between Patty Murray and one of her possible contenders, and she was only up 9 points. That falls in the likely category. If it's Trudeau, who's even more left-wing, he could fare even worse. Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, all could narrow up within the likely margin. Same with Illinois, same with Maine's 1st Congressional District. However, California, Hawaii, those solid Democrat states that essentially do not change no matter what the candidate does or says, as long as they have a D next to them, they would go Democrat. I think that they would stay the same. Solid Republican states, I'm just going to give Donald Trump the usual 125. I guess you could argue you could include Iowa, maybe Ohio, but I'm not even so sure. It's still so polarized, the country. I don't even know what percent of people would jump on board for Trump because, he is such a polarizing figure. I still think Trump could get a significant amount of the independent votes, especially against somebody like Justin Trudeau. But I just don't know. He wouldn't get the Democrat support. Democrats would either just not turn out or reluctantly turn out for Trudeau. Likely states would be Oregon, Washington, Illinois. I'll just include the rest of the East Coast as likely states for Justin Trudeau, getting him up to 181, but nothing else. Likely Trump states would be Iowa, Ohio, Texas, Florida. Maine's 2nd Congressional District would all be likely for Donald Trump. And those are the usual likely states that I characterize. All the other states would be within the lean category, at least in my mind. I guess you could argue possibly a state like North Carolina could be likely to go above 5 points for Trump against somebody like Trudeau, but I'm just going to characterize that in the lean category. Lean Trudeau, that would be Colorado. That'd be the only lean Trudeau state. Actually, no, I'll also argue Maine at large could be lean for Justin Trudeau. Lean Donald Trump states, these would be North Carolina. This would be Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. Getting Trump over that 270, I still think he would win. Getting over the 270 threshold, getting 297. So there he goes. My projection overall is he wins the election. Anyway, let's head into our tilt states for Justin Trudeau. I think he could barely tilt the state of Minnesota in his favor. I think he could barely tilt the state of Virginia in his favor. I think he would lose New Mexico. Hispanics would not come out and support him. I know people are trying to say that he is the son of Fidel Castro, so I guess if he were going to play that card, he would get the Hispanic support. Well, I guess he wouldn't because a lot of Cubans would come out against him. But, it's more, it's a joke, but who knows? Maybe it's true. If you look at the actual history of it, who actually knows? Because, it's a bit interesting, but, it's just whatever. it's a conservative joke or whatever. I mean, it's kind of funny. Um, but in New Mexico, he wouldn't win. He possibly would win in Virginia, shifting over some of the suburban women. But the margin would be very close. Michigan would go to Trump, as well as the state of New Hampshire. So 321 for Donald Trump. I mean, if you didn't expect a Trump modern, victory, large victory in electoral college, I don't know what you were going to expect. Justin Trudeau, his policies are much more left wing in Canada, even compared to the United States, and I just see him losing a general election pretty handily against most Republican candidates in this scenario. 322, 216. Trump wins, essentially re-election, goes on to become 47th president. With that, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video below, and comment what you think of my prediction. Anyway, have a great day, and see you all soon.